Welcome to the news on Zodiac. You're with me, Robert Kalua. Let's have a look at the headlines this hour. Nkhani resumes importation of fuel into the country by rail after a 21-year break. Former Reserve Bank Governor Dr. Dalitso Kabambe joins UTM party days after ditching TPP. TV Authority lobbies Park of Parliament for Treasury to remit 5.56 billion kwacha TVET levy. And elsewhere, Ethiopia's landslide resumed importation of fuel into the country by rail after a 21-year break. The first train carrying about 640,000 liters of fuel docked at Nkhani's Lilongwe depot, marking restoration of the service.
We need to start developing competitive advantages as a nation, and we need to have access to ports, and he has opened Nakala port for us. We also need to have cheaper transportation systems, and he's also opened up the train systems for Malawi. His connectivity to Beira is ongoing, and this connectivity from Nakala all the way to Zambia is what we are seeing today. All these are the things that the private sector have really been looking for in a leader here in Malawi, so that production costs start coming down, and that way then we can pass on the savings to the consumers. So we are now able to produce products whose production cost is a little low, and that is good for all consumers, that is good for all the Malawians, so to speak.
Nkhani Deputy Chief Executive Michael Rubin says a restoration of the service will bring efficiency in the importation of fuel into the country.
An efficient and cost-effective manner, and one of the ways and means of doing so is to bring fuel by train. We have already started this process in Planta, and today we are in this place to witness the inaugural train, which has taken 21 years to be brought into this particular place.
Introducing an initiative is one thing. Sustaining it is also another thing. Maybe how do you want to strike the balance to ensure that this process is sustained?
We have got a very wonderful leadership in terms of our board, and the board and us have actually developed short, medium and long-term plans to make sure that we sustain the process of bringing product into this country in a cost-effective manner. And we believe that we have started, and we are going to continue to do so until we get to a point where the transport sector in this country is revolutionized in as far as the transportation of fuel is concerned.
Former Reserve Bank Governor Dr. Dalitso Kabambe has joined the UTM party, ending speculations on his move into the political arena after ditching the Democratic Progressive Party. Party officials, including Secretary General Patricia Kaliati, welcomed Kabambe at a political rally in Tiolo. Luca Benston was there and he found this report.
Speaking to Zodiac at Masambanjati on Tuesday, Dr. Dalitso Kabambe said he has just joined the UTM Ford after being inspired by its manifesto, which espouses people's transformation, food security, industrialization, and 1 million jobs agenda. Dr. Kabambe, while confirming to stand as a member of parliament for Masambanjati constituency next year, trashed reports that he wants to be the UTM president.
But what struck me is that for most of those manifestos, they are more or less similar. They want more or less the same things that they are promising in those manifestos to do to Malawians. But I think what differentiates those manifestos is that these others, they have those things in their manifestos. They promised them, Malawians gave them a chance to come into government. They never did the things that they promised Malawians.
UTM spokesperson Felix Njawala said Dr. Kabambe's joining has brought strength to the grassroots, further indicating that according to the party's constitution, Dr. Michael Usi remains their president.
Now is the time that people have realized that in Dr. Chilima we had a leader. In Dr. Chilima we had a vision for this country, and that vision now is imparted in UTM party.
Meanwhile, political analyst Ernest Tindwa said the defection was expected and believes he harbors presidency ambitions.
I don't think the driving force is really a manifesto. Our politicians really are not driven by what you would call political philosophy, ideology, values, or principles. They are driven by opportunities that are presented for them to hold positions they are chasing. So the driving force is not the manifesto, as we claim, but the driving force is the opportunity to lead the UTM.
Dr. Kabambe left the DPP last week, and reports were rife that he was destined for the UTM.
The Independent Complaints Commission, ICC, says it cannot commit exact time when it will conclude probe on police officers accused of detaining a vehicle carrying a sick baby who died at a police checkpoint in Mzimba. Malawi Human Rights Commission earlier this month recommended the investigation faulting the law enforcers and driver of the vehicle for negligence which contributed to the baby's death. ICC spokesperson Happy Njelomano says the commission already commenced investigations even before the MHRC recommendation, but said investigations cannot be given a time frame. Association of Persons with Albinism in Malawi, APAM, has expressed worry over the slow pace on efforts implored in protecting rights of people with albinism in the country. Its president, Yang Mohamba, says there is need for stakeholders to join hands in promoting rights of the people with albinism, as they cannot do all the awareness due to lack of resources, among other challenges. The remarks are coming barely days after unknown people in Mulanje allegedly tampered with the grave of Madalitso Kasimbwe, a person with albinism who died in 2006. Zuleka Nanguo has more.
APAM President Yang Mohamba says such attacks on people with albinism affects their livelihood as they continue to live in fear, refraining them from participating in development projects, which slows down the country's development. He says there is a need for the country to maximize its efforts in protecting people with albinism as the country is approaching the campaign and elections period.
This particular election period to be different. It shouldn't be an alarming situation. An election shouldn't be an alarming situation to persons with albinism. An election should provide an inclusive environment for persons with albinism. We don't want persons with albinism to be hiding from voting because there are acts of violence against them. We want persons with albinism to fully participate in the society.
Executive Director for Center for Human Rights and Rehabilitation, CHRR, Michael Kayatsa, says the Mulanje incident is an indication that the country is failing to protect the rights of persons with albinism.
That efforts should really be made to ensure that persons with albinism are protected. It's unfortunate that up to now, the National Action Plan on Persons with Albinism, which expired in 2022, has not been renewed. I think it's a sign that government is not really committed.
APAM says it has recorded 2 cases of abuse towards people with albinism from June to July this year. Zuleika Nanguo, Zodiac, Lilongwe.
You're watching the news on Zodiac with me, Robert Karua. I will be back after this break.
St. Louis High School would like to inform the general public that they will be having Form 1 entrance examinations on the 2nd of August, 2024 at the Lilongwe Christian Primary School opposite C Company at 9 o'clock in the morning. The students are required to bring a registration fee of 10,000 kwacha, a pen and a pencil, and their money PSL IDs as proof of their candidacy for the past exam. Places are available in Forms 1, 2, and 3 for the 2024-2025 academic year. For more information, contact the following numbers: 0997 675 722, 0884 544 678, or 0990 184 040. St. Louis High School. Experience excellence.
Life moves fast, and so should your packages. Say goodbye to waiting and hello to convenience with Post Courier, your go-to courier service. When you choose Post Courier, you're choosing speed, reliability, and peace of mind. I can always count on Post Courier for quick and safe deliveries. They never let me down.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at the headlines. As we have Technical Entrepreneur Vocational Education and Training Authority TVETA has asked Public Accounts Committee of Parliament to help it lobby Treasury to remit 56 billion kwacha TVET levy arrears, which have been accumulating over the years. The authority's Executive Director, Elwin Chiwembu, made the plea when he led officials from his entity appear before the Parliamentary Committee. Park Chairperson Mark Boterman says they will soon engage Secretary to the Treasury on the matter. The National Youth Network on Climate Change says lack of adequate resources is a major factor stifling efforts by civil society organizations to incorporate children's voices in climate change-related programs. Its national coordinator, Dominic Nyasulu, says they need a lot of resources to implement climate change-related programs that promote children's participation, to ascertain how children are affected by disasters and provide solutions. Some social cash transfer beneficiaries who are expected to graduate from the program next year in Nkatabe have expressed worry to District Council and civil society organization officials with their sustainability plan in livestock, poultry, and cassava farming. Chairperson for Nkatabe CSOs, Michael Mwanachawa, has hailed beneficiaries for taking the right channels towards self-reliance. Norbert Mzembe reports.
The Nkhani Cluster Social Cash Transfer beneficiary, Timothy Biton Mlauzi, says since he joined the program in 2022, when he was receiving 11,000 kwacha per month up to this year, when the amount was revised to about 18,000 kwacha, he has accumulated 9 goats, 2 pigs, and over 20 local chickens, besides purchasing 19 iron sheets for roofing his house he built using the same funds, ready for graduation from the program. Similarly, Marita Msukwa says through the same program, she has managed to construct a brick grass thatched house and invest in cassava farming to fend for her 20 grandchildren and herself, as she receives 37,200 kwacha in every 2 months from the program. Chairperson for Nkatabe.
We apologize for a poor audio in that report. We'll give you that report in our next bulletin. In sports, Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe has been granted approval to host international club matches, but authorities have been warned against any complacency towards its care. Earlier this month, the 40,000-seater facility missed out the first list of venues which the Confederation of African Football, CAF, certified for high-profile matches due to its condition during World Cup quarter-finals in June. And elsewhere, rescue teams have so far retrieved bodies of 229 people killed in 2 landslides in southern Ethiopia. The landslides occurred on Sunday evening and Monday morning after heavy rains in a remote mountainous area of the Gafa zone. The local authority said the search for survivors was continuing vigorously, but that the death toll could yet increase. Footage showed hundreds of people gathered at the scene and others digging in the dirt in search of the people trapped underneath. Chief Administrator of Go's Zone, Magwi Ayele, told the BBC that the dead included both adults and children, while 10 people rescued alive were receiving treatment in the hospital. And that's about what we had time for in this edition.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He